Alex was one of those people whose days disappeared in work and whose nights were swallowed by the glow of his phone screen. Life was quiet, maybe a little too quiet. One evening he remembered he needed a decent coat for a formal work event. His budget was tight, so the next day he headed to the old downtown flea market, where thrift shops sometimes hid surprisingly good finds. The flea market was a strange place, always busy, yet each shop felt wrapped in a kind of heavy, suffocating silence. Broken wooden shelves, the stale smell of old fabric and dust drifting through thin beams of sunlight. Alex stopped at a shop where second-hand clothes hung limply on metal rods. The coats there looked like time had simply forgotten to move them. One brown coat caught his eye. It wasn't like the others. Older, yes, but there was a certain dignity in its shape and fabric. Alex picked it up, and for a second it felt as though he'd disturbed something. The inner lining was a bit worn out, but the fit looked perfect on him. The shopkeeper watched him closely, almost as if waiting for Alex to make a decision. "Sir, don't wear that at night," the man said quietly. Alex laughed. "Why? Some ghost gonna borrow it?" The shopkeeper didn't laugh back. His eyes didn't move. There was something in them that made Alex uncomfortable for a moment. "Just don't wear it at night," the man repeated. "That coat, it's not alone." Alex sighed, annoyed. "All right, enough with the scary stories. Just bag it." He paid and headed home. That night, he hung the coat simply on a hanger. The ceiling light flickered weakly, and the coat cast a long shadow on the wall. Alex stared at that shadow for a moment, then laughed at himself, ate dinner, and went to sleep. But in the morning, when he opened his eyes and looked at the coat, his heart skipped a beat. The coat wasn't hanging the way he'd left it. It was straight, perfectly aligned, filled out, like an invisible person was wearing it. The shoulders were full. The sleeves were slightly bent, as if arms rested inside them. The collar lifted naturally, as if someone had just adjusted it. For a second, Alex was sure somebody had come into his room and worn the coat. He walked closer, touched it. Nothing inside. Just fabric. But how was it holding its shape? "Maybe I hung it weird, or the hanger's crooked," he muttered, trying to convince himself. He rehung it properly and went about his day. The next morning, same thing. The coat was filled out again, standing like a person wearing it. A chill ran through him. Nothing about this was normal. For 15 minutes, he paced around the room, telling himself he was imagining things. But the coat's shape, only a human body could make it look like that. That night, he set up his phone camera, airplane mode, lights off. He lay down, though sleep kept breaking. He kept hearing faint rustling, something like fabric shifting in the dark. In the morning, the first thing he did was grab his phone. The video began. Alex's pulse thudded until 2 a.m. Nothing happened. Then, at 2:12, the sleeves moved, like a breeze passed inside them. But the room had been completely closed. Then the shoulders slowly rose and fell, like something was taking a deep breath. A tingling sensation crawled across Alex's fingers. At 2:13, the coat slowly straightened and slipped off the hanger on its own. No feet beneath it, just the coat, filled with the shape of a solid, silent body. The figure turned toward the camera. There was no face, because there was nothing inside, just the coat's collar and a deep, empty blackness below it. After a few seconds, it walked toward the door. The door opened by itself. The figure left. About an hour later, it returned. The coat walked back inside, hung itself neatly on the hanger, and like thick smoke dissolving in the air, the shape inside the coat faded and vanished. The video ended. Alex stared at the screen for a long time. His hands trembled. A strange coldness settled over the room, and the coat stood there again, perfectly shaped, like someone had worn it all night. He tried lifting it, but the moment his fingers touched the fabric, the coat was warm, freshly worn warm. He jerked his hand back. A heavy tightness filled his chest. That night, he didn't sleep. Every time he opened his eyes, he thought he saw the coat moving. A slight shift, the collar lifting, the sleeves expanding like something was crawling back inside. At sunrise, he grabbed the coat, marched outside, and threw it onto the street. But when he checked a moment later, the coat wasn't there. He searched the stairs, the hallway, the balcony. Nothing. He walked back into his room and froze. The coat was hanging on the same hanger, perfectly filled out, perfectly still, waiting. And on the floor beneath it, 2 faint, wet footprints, slowly fading as they approached him. Alex stood frozen, breath shallow, hands cold, and the coat stood there quietly, as if waiting for the next person to wear it.